Happy Gay Month. Show the desktop. There we go. So I've just gotten back from watching the movie Morbius in theaters since it got brought back into theaters through the power of the internet. So I went to go see it with some friends, and I had some thoughts on it. And instead of saving this for next month's movie review, I could not. I had so many thoughts about this movie. I needed to just get them off of my chest and just into video form. How appropriate is it that I got to see Morbius during Gay Month? And Morbius may just be this generation's Brokeback Mountain. I say that in full seriousness. Morbius is queer cinema at its finest. Morbius may even be, dare I say, peak queer cinema. I believe this is a movie we're going to be looking at for years to come. I believe that this movie is one of the most culturally important movies of the decade. And I know it's only just starting, but, I think this is a movie we're going to be talking about for a long time after its relevance fades, maybe. So I really appreciate that they made Dr. Michael Morbius non-binary. So I will be referring to Morbius as they, them, as the movie also instructs you to do so. So as we all know, there's the big action scene where Morbius morbs all over the bad guys. I really appreciated that in the middle of the fight, one of the crooks getting morbed on goes, "He's morbing all over us!" And Morbius stops morbing and goes, "Actually, it's they, them. I use they, them pronouns." And I really appreciate that. I felt very seen as a fellow non-binary myself. I felt very seen by the movie for doing that. I really appreciate Jared Leto coming into this movie with such conviction and really committing to the method acting bit of being non-binary and not being acknowledged as your actual pronouns by anyone else. Jared Leto is a noted method actor known for giving his all in performances such as, Suicide Squad, this movie too, again with the whole non-binary experience of not having your identity respected and being turned into a political issue. I think Jared Leto really got that. He understood the assignment, as TikTok would say. Jared Leto, let's talk about Jared Leto for a minute. Jared Leto, this is his Citizen Kane. This is his best performance by far. I think this has eclipsed Requiem for a Dream for the best Jared Leto performance. This is miles above and beyond anything else he's ever done. This is, I can see them making a push for Best Actor at the Academy. I can see it. Jared Leto is Dr. Michael Morbius, Marvel legend. Getting Jared Leto was the right choice. Noted women respecter, noted co-worker respecter, noted cult organizer Jared Leto. I think this was a great casting by Sony, and I think they did a great job on this. Matt Smith, I feel like Matt Smith, while giving a great performance, Matt Smith just doesn't compare to Jared Leto in this movie. When I look at the movie, I see Matt Smith. I do not see Milo. That behind me, that's Dr. Michael Morbius. Non-binary icon, Dr. Michael Morbius. That's not Jared Leto. And a badly CGI'd abomination that is in this movie. I will give Matt Smith props. The dancing scene, we've all seen it by now. Dancing scene, great music choice by the producers and the directors. Great music choice. The lyrics really appeal to the inner queer inside of me. I really hope that Sony continues to give us some more queer representation. I think this is a big step forward with this. I know this may not have been the most popular decision in the Sony executive room, but I really hope that maybe we can take some steps forward from this movie and its critical and commercial success. I really hope we can have this expanded on in a Morbius 2. I hope the world is ready to have a discussion about Morbius 2 when it comes out. Give me more gayness. Give me a Morbius Venom crossover, Give me that. Because Venom, we could talk about the gay undertones, the homoerotic undertones in Venom. We could talk about those all day. We're not here to talk about that. We're here to talk about Morbius and the Morbius sweep that has swept the nation. Also, I think we kind of need to talk about the homoerotic nature of the plot, which is where I get the comparison to Brokeback Mountain. The relationship between Dr. Michael Morbius and Milo is the centerpiece of this movie. And, I really thought that the shower scene in the middle of the movie was a bit unnecessary. I think it was unneeded before the start of the third act. So for those who don't know, who haven't seen Morbius yet, there's a scene right before the third act of the movie where Dr. Michael Morbius and Milo are having a heated discussion about whether or not to use their new vampire powers to be good or evil. Eventually, they start making out, you know? And I think that's really important because we don't really see that on screen that much, especially in movies. And eventually it moves on to this 5-minute long shower scene where both stars are just going at it in this shower. And I think that it was unnecessary. I think that it was very brave to include this in a studio blockbuster movie, but I don't think it worked. You know, I think it could have been implemented a little bit better. I think the music choice was a little bit off. I really felt like it took out the tension that the movie was building up. Because again, it's right before the third act of the film. It's where their big falling out happens after the shower scene, where, you know, they're laying in a bed after this, and they just cannot mend their differences. And, you know, it really is heartbreaking because we just saw a beautiful moment between these two characters, and it's just all for naught. In all, though, the movie does end up asking us the question, is it better to have loved and lost than to have never loved at all? This movie says a lot about life. It has a lot of things to say. I believe that a sequel will have even more to say. The post-credit scene I thought was a little bit weird with the setup, though. I think that bringing Jared Leto's cult into the movie maybe doesn't work as well as the filmmakers thought it would. Like, the Cult of Morbius, well, like, a cool idea for a sequel. I don't know if that's the way we really should be taking this character. I think that more, like, introspective, character-driven stories about, like, what does it mean to be a non-binary Marvel legend like Dr. Michael Morbius. My computer turned off. What does it mean to be a non-binary Marvel legend like Dr. Michael Morbius? You know, I really think that's the where the character should be going, but I don't think that's the direction Sony wants to take it, unfortunately. So yeah, those were my thoughts on the 2022 superhero epic Morbius. I thought that it was a very, very interesting piece of queer culture, and I think that it's, again, one that we're going to be talking about for a while. And I think that the sequel will hopefully dive a bit more into it, because I think we have a lot more room to just kind of go in and prod. And yeah, so I hope that you enjoyed my thoughts on Morbius. Happy Gay Month. We should have some videos out soon. And I'll catch you in the next one. I'm Sam. Peace out.